Right folks, so we're doing a video on a MK8 GTI Clubsport today. I'm going to give you guys a walk around and all that good stuff, and we're going to find some nice country roads. Enjoy this little montage first of some fancy clips, then yeah, we'll get started. Yeah, we'll run through all the various bits on it and what makes it different to a normal MK8 GTI. As you will have saw, I believe towards the end of December or January, we did a full kind of review on a standard MK8 GTI. This is essentially a front wheel drive R if you want to put it simply, but I'll explain all the changes now. So visually you have got a bit more of a aggressive body kit, you could say. It also doesn't have fog lights like the standard MK8 GTI. So this does come with like an aero kit, which is an optional extra on an R. Normally in the R performance pack you get this wing, whereas on a Clubsport it comes standard. That is also a difference from a standard MK8 GTI. We've also got a different back bumper, diffuser slightly different, and the exhaust tips are a bit more oval like. So yeah, the main kind of changes between this and a regular GTI is in the engine. So you've got 300 PS in this car. It also runs the same engine and turbo configuration as a MK8 R rather than a MK8 GTI. You got the new turbo made by Continental. It's 20 PS down on the R, but it's essentially the same unit. So I'm sure once the ECUs are unlocked on these, you're going to be seeing similar gains so on R will be making. Of course, these are front wheel drive. Now a Clubsport is now a regular production model. They are bringing out an edition 45 this year, I believe. But from what I can see, it's all visual, which is a bit disappointing, but they've already done so much here. Yeah, I've also got the VAQ diff at the front as per the Mark 7 Clubsport and the TCR, etc. Normal GTI does have that VAQ diff as well. You got the same brakes from the MK8 R. Let's head round here, I think you could have a better look. So they are 357mm discs. You got the new caliper as well. Now these wheels, I know some of you guys are going to be pointing them out. They are the standard wheels on a Clubsport. Unfortunately, they haven't bothered to change them on a Clubsport. They've kept it the same as a normal GTI's standard wheels. They're Richmond ones, I believe. You can get quite a nice upgraded design, the Estoril ones, but this car is pretty much standard as a Clubsport arrives. The Clubsport also sits 10mm lower than a regular MK8 GTI, and the front wheels do have a bit more camber, just to help with a bit of the turning, I assume. And yeah, you've got a few changes to the dampers as well over a regular GTI. Now going on to the interior, I do prefer this over the standard GTI. They've gone for a similar type of fabric to the old TCR, so like a hexagon design. And the Clubsport only comes in DSG, whereas a standard GTI you can get manual. Not that I've ever seen a standard manual GTI, if that makes sense. Everyone seems to go for DSG these days. Got a pulsating red starter button. I'll turn it on now. We'll straighten up the wheel here. Now another thing to note on this car, it does not have DCC. What essentially that means is you don't get, of course, adjustable dampers, which you've had on Mark 7s as an option for a while and the MK8. But one of the crucial differences on a Clubsport is you don't get the Nürburgring mode when you don't have DCC. You got Eco, Comfort. Does seem to be a bit of lag as well. I mean, I've noticed this on MK8s. You got all the touch here. There's still, I'm not fully convinced yet. I do like the speedo though. Now individual, we'll have a look at what individual gives you. So you've got chassis, sport, steering sport, drive sport, engine sport, ACC. Probably stick to sport for the most part. Yeah, you got these nice seats. Definitely a bit more, yeah, they're better on the eyes than the standard GTI. I do prefer these. I think they're a perfect balance. I wouldn't bother with going for leather either. These are just how they come from standard. They got a nice leather outer bit here, mesh pattern there. Yeah, does the job. Armrest also, flat bottom steering wheel as you'd expect. They've gone for perforated on the side rather than suede as per the old Clubsport, but then they started this with the TCR. They've stopped offering, you know, suede on there, so that's just how it is. Got these small paddles. This is where I believe they have kind of played kind of a game really. With the R, they've given them new paddles, so it's the same edges and R that you'd thought they'd give it full whack, but They've got to keep their hierarchy. Another thing that I forgot to mention, this car is on Bridgestone Potenzas, which I'm sure are going to be a bit, you know, it's not going to help the car being on those tyres. But yeah, we'll turn the car off. I'll get you a start up and we'll give you some revs as well, hopefully once it's warmed up. So as you can tell, it has got a nice overrun. It has got a soft limiter, unfortunately. The MK8, even though it has the same engine, it doesn't have one. Personally, I think that's just a bit of a thing that Volkswagen's done on purpose just to differentiate them. There's no other reason for it. It's got the same engine and turbo configuration. But yeah, it's an E8 888 at the end of the day, so even though it is a Gen 4 variant, they all sound very similar. If you've had these cars in the past in Mark 7 or whatever, it's a very familiar noise. At least it's got some sound for an OPF car though. But yeah, what we'll do, we'll get some GoPro set up. I'm gonna head over to the exact road that I did the regular GTI video on. And yeah, we'll just see what it drives like. Now there is one cool feature that the owner has shown me, and that's the sort of quick way to get to the traction control system. So he's added it to the swipe down menu. I'm gonna put an overlay on the screen now, and essentially what he's done, he's made it easier to reach, because normally you're gonna go through menus and everything just to turn traction into sport. We've got an E8 888 Gen 4 engine, as I mentioned, 2-litre turbo, 300 PS, VAQ diff up front, bit of overrun going on, and it's a big upgrade from the normal GTI. I mean, I've been driving it around for about 20-30 minutes now, just getting a feel for it just before I started the video, and it's definitely got some shove. Continental turbo, I am expecting it to have some serious gains once it's tuned. As you know, the ECUs are locked on these things, but HGP in Germany, I believe, have tuned the Mark 8R, and they were getting like 450 of a stage 1. Like, I was looking at them numbers thinking, how far have 2 litres come on now? And that's in the Mark 8R, but obviously it's the same engine and powertrain in this thing, so I expect the same sort of gains. I'll let you guys into a little behind the scenes secret. I don't know if it even could be classed as one. I was actually seriously considering getting one of these a few months ago. Little bridge. Yeah, so before I bought the 140i, I was going to get one of these. I was ready for it. I thought I'd do a new Mark 8 GTI build because it's like the in car. Then I found that you can't tune them, and I thought, okay, we'll have to scrap that idea. But yeah, it's just a bit of me. I do like front wheel drive, big power, but especially with the setup one like this, obviously you've got a bunch of handling changes, got bigger brakes, and I got the VAQ diff, which is controlled differently in the Clubsport. Second gear. One thing very impressive with this, there's virtually no scrambling around. Look, get a bit of a, you know, side to side. Be hard pressed to travel down this road any sort of quicker in a 4-wheel drive variant. There's no kind of, look, it just does it. So some people might find, well, it's kind of a split thing, isn't it, really? Like, it's a front wheel drive car with less of the front wheel drive drama. The 128 Ti that I drove had a bit more going on. It was scrambling for traction. Of course, they have a Torsen LSD. Yeah, only if there's like a drop in tarmac, you'll feel it, just like the car might get. I'm very impressed with the gearbox on this, more so than even any normal DSG. Just deals with all these undulations, lovely. And we're on like Bridgestones as well. Imagine this with a nice set of PS4S's on it. Let's try and provoke it first. Little squirm. Downshift's are very good. So even there, when you try and make it like, you know, scramble, it's alright. Right, look. That's an impressive little car, that is. You might end up having to get one now. I say this about a lot of cars I review, but genuinely the only thing holding me back from getting a Mark 8 is the locked ECU, I'll be honest. I really love these cars. The tuning on the DSG is very impressive. Little overrun. It's like, it's so like, they're all quick, but there's something to this one. They've upshift, there's no DSG bang. It just blends it in. It feels almost like, you know, you do launch control and the gears are kind of just blended in. Even around this roundabout, look, it's just glued. Right, let's take it on here, see if you can see. Look, it's still not scrambling. This is a GTI with a bit of, you know, it's got a bit of muscle to it. I do feel like I'd be travelling down this road quicker than I would be in a 128 Ti. It just seems to be a lot more kind of, you can notice the extra power of course, but just in terms of the way it's so, the car just doesn't mess around. It does not mess around, it just gets it done. No point putting the windows down because we're mostly hearing in interior noise. The main thing I am noticing on these exact roads is the power increase. I'm not noticing or it make the standard GTI feel like that was blue something, because that was quite a tall car. They've spent a lot of time making the standard GTI really good. It's almost like a performance pack, the normal one. So you do notice the brakes are better, but stuff like the added camber, etc., like I ain't gonna notice it here. I'll probably notice on the track. So I don't want to give you guys a false illusion, but all I can say is this thing just absolutely flies when you want it to. The trouble with Golfs is that they can look quite undramatic on camera, so I can fully appreciate some of you guys will be like, alright, does it look that all that on camera? It gets going though, it gets going. It would be cool if they came in manual, to be fair. I mean, none of you guys will buy it, but you know, it's cool to have it there. They've clearly got it in the regular one. This is a place I called Sketchy in my last video, by the way. We got it unsettled in a bit, but not by much. But yeah folks, I think what we'll do, we'll end the video here. Hopefully you enjoyed my first impressions of the MK8 GTI Clubsport, or a review, you can call it whatever you want. Definitely a big upgrade over a regular GTI. The regular GTI is no bad car though. I did say in that video it drives really good, and that still stands. This just gives you that extra bit of drama and shove. But as a front wheel drive car goes, this is probably the most stable one I've driven. It's just so well secured. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like on it. Also, if you got a MK8R, let me know so I can complete the sort of trio, as they say. Subscribe for a lot more content to come, as this Fiat just does a turn in the road. And yeah, just stay tuned for a lot more content anyway, and I'll catch you in the next one.